Welcome to the session on how to achieve financial freedom. As you are probably aware, this is the fourth and final session in a series of, 4 installments. The first 3 sessions have been conducted with good success and have been posted, they've been shared. Hope all of you had an opportunity to go through those, the videos of the previous sessions in case you are not attended the live one. So today's session will focus more on, creating a roadmap to financial freedom along with a case study, and then conducting the gap analysis and how to reach there. So we have Rajesh Jain with us. Rajesh is a very, very seasoned finance professional and investment advisor. Over to Rajesh, and looking forward to the learning you have to offer, Rajesh.
Good evening, everyone. Can I know how many of you have attended or seen my previous sessions, and how many of you are attending for the first time? Like if it is first, type it's your first session, and if you have already attended my sessions earlier on financial freedom, the first, second and third session, type I have attended earlier. Okay, Harsh, Vinay, first session, Shani, first session, Kanishka, first session, Manish attended earlier. Okay, thanks Manish. Shavari Pai attended third session. Okay, so I see many of you are attending the session for the first time. So I will try to repeat a bit of what we covered earlier, but today's session is going to be more of an interactive one rather than just a presentation. I have got a very few slides today in my presentation. Most of the things I will be working on Excel along with you. Like it is not a pre-prepared kind of thing. It would be working along with you during the session. So I want you all to be with me and keep responding to me to all the queries that I ask for. Okay. So the first thing I want to know is, what is your age? What's the age of you all? Harsh 30, Manish 22, Swasni 32, 27, Kanishka 31, Vinay 35. Okay. So we have people in the age group of between 20 to 35. Sharwari 37. Okay, fine. Yeah. These are actually the 4 sessions that we covered. The first session we spoke about the mindset and money, our relationship with money, how we should manage our income and expenditure. Now, what are the various saving and money habits that we should actually follow? The recorded session, the recording of these sessions is already available on Iv-Myswish YouTube channel. You can go through it. Second session we covered about how should we reasonably plan our personal finances, define our financial goals, and ultimately defining our retirement age and financial goal. How should we do? Previous session, what we spoke about was what are the various investment options, trying to evaluate various investment options, understanding your own risk appetite, that how should I see what is my risk appetite, how can I understand my own risk appetite, understanding which investment options that appeal me and suit me, and finally, what is a goal-based investment option. So the first 3 sessions was retirement. Along with that, it was more of another overall financial planning as well. But today's session would be purely focused only on retirement aspect. That how should you plan your retirement and how should you go about your retirement. So how should we go about the retirement is first trying to determine the retirement age and ultimately determining your retirement goal. Now, when I got you, most of you are between 20 to 35. Can I know what is the retirement goal that you are planning? Sorry, retirement age. At what age you all plan to retire? What is the age at which you plan to retire? What is your retirement age? 45. Harsh says 60. Vinay says 55. Manish 45 to 50. Shravari 55. Kanishka 45 to 50. So we have got your age and we have determined what should be your retirement age. Now, how to determine the retirement goal? Okay. So people who have attended my previous sessions, they would have got an Excel sheet which we shared with each and every participant in the first 2 sessions. Okay. In the sheet, there was even a calculator about how to determine your retirement goal. We will be sharing that sheet after this session also with you, so don't worry. what I would be doing is now we'll be taking up that sheet and see that how can we determine the retirement age, retirement goal. Okay. So I would like to take three cases of three people. So who want to go the first one? Who want to take it up? Say me. So who want to take up first? So either you choose or I will pick up some name. So Harsh, what's your current age? What you said? What's your current age?
So my current age is 30.
30. And what you said your retirement age?
60.
60. Okay. Yeah. So Harsh, just based on your own lifestyle, okay, if I tell you today, though you are 30, if you retire today, as on date, if you retire, so if you retire, that means it would be only you and your wife. What is your current family like?
So currently, me and my wife and my parents are living together.
Okay. So what is your current monthly expenses?
It would be around, the normal home expenses would be around 50,000.
50,000. Okay. And if you retire today and it's only you and your wife, only two of you, what would be your monthly expenses today as on date?
My guess would be 50,000 would be more than enough for everything. Like
50,000 would be more than enough?
I guess so.
Okay.
Probably
so 50,000 would be...
It can extend up to 80,000 if you include, other expenses as well, like going outside and things like that.
Okay. So, Harsh, if we take 50,000 as your, let's say the bare minimum criteria, like comfortable, not very lavish lifestyle, but a good, decent lifestyle which you are leading today. Not, okay. So, if I take 50,000 as your expenses today, okay. So, 50,000 as your expenses, I'm just highlighting, this is 50,000 your expenses. This is your current age and retirement. So you have got about 30 years to retire. So since it's a 30 years, see normally we take the inflation rate at somewhere around 5% for the next 10 to 15 years. But 30 years, a very long period. So obviously the inflation rate is going to reduce further. Isn't it?
Going to reduce or is going to increase? Because
it is going to reduce. See, it is always like, see, your inflation rates are directly related to your interest rates.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Your interest rates and inflation rates are always in correlation. Like if you see what is the current interest rate in US?
It's very, very low. Yeah.
Very low, somewhere around 0.5%.
Correct.
And what is the inflation in US?
I have no clue.
Around 1.5%. That's it.
Okay. Oh. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Around 1.5%. Same way in India, if you see what is the current interest rates? Bank
around 4 to 5%.
4 to 5%. And our inflation somewhere around 6 to 7%, isn't it?
Correct. Yeah.
If you pick up 10 years back, that is when I was 30. Okay.
Yeah.
10 years back, if you pick up when I was 30, at that point of time, the rate of interest used to be somewhere around 8.5 to 9% minimum.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. And the inflation used to be somewhere around 10 to 11%.
True.
Okay. So interest and inflation rates both go hand in hand.
Okay.
Okay. So 30 years down the line, that means what we are speaking about is 2051. Okay. Right. So from 2021 to 2051, I see obviously the inflation rate would be somewhere around 3 to 4%. So let's pick up somewhere around 3.5%. Okay. So if I inflate your current expenses with 3.5%, your future value of annual expenditure, that is per annum, what you're going to spend would be somewhere around 17 lakhs.
17 lakhs, yeah.
Okay, 17 lakhs is what you're going to spend. Okay. Now, if I have to generate a corpus through which I can afford this 17 lakhs, what is the minimum corpus and maximum corpus that I need to develop? Minimum is 20 times, that is taking that, okay, I retire at the age of 60 and I live up to 80, that is next 20 years.
Right.
Okay, that is one way. Another way is at least for another 35 years, so that even my incremental and other expenditure. So if I go with that yardstick, 3.36 crores to 5.89 crores is what the corpus requirement would be. And if I take an average of it, it is going to be somewhere around 4.63 crores. This is crores. Okay. Now there is another way of calculating your retirement corpus. That is taking that, okay, in 2051, once I retire, I assume my corpus would be giving me a X return. Okay. So in 2051, the max return that I can expect would be somewhere around 1 or 1.5%, isn't it? If I'm taking an interest rate of inflation rate of 3.5%, I can take somewhere around 1.5 or max maybe 2% as my return. If I invest in any,
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Return on investment.
Yeah, return on investment. So that my corpus would stay as it is. My corpus would stay as it is. My lifestyle will run only based on the return that is developed on the corpus, and my corpus would pass on to my future generation. That is, they will inherit. Okay. It is with this presumption. So if I go with this presumption, what would be your corpus needed? This is what your corpus needed. 8.42 crores. 8.42 crores. Okay. Yeah. So on your, if you feel that your entire corpus should be spent to meet that, I don't want to pass on anything to my future generations, then somewhere around 4.5 crores would be more than enough. Okay. But if you think, no boss, my corpus, whatever I generate should be passed on to my future generation, then my corpus should meet my regular expenditure. The return from my corpus should meet then it should be somewhere around 8.5 crores. Did you understood the difference? Got it? Okay. So it is 4.5 crores versus 8.5 crores. Got it? Okay. Now how much we need to save every year for this? We will come later. Can I pick one more? Anyone else who would like to share along similar the way Harsh? Somewhere in the age group of 20, who was 20? There was someone 21 or 22 or maybe. Yeah, Manish, what's your age?
It's 22.
It's 22. Manish, your age is 22. And what is the age that you expect to retire?
45 to 50.
45 to 50. Okay, I pick it up as 50. Okay. And Manish, what do you think today, if you retire, will 50,000 would be more than enough for you?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. So if we go with the same yardstick, Manish, with what we took for Harsh, and since your age is 22, you have got another 28 years, that is, you want to retire by 50. So what it is you want to retire at the age of 50. Harsh want to retire at the age of 60. So both of you have got almost like similar timelines, isn't it? Okay. So both would be retiring around the same age. So if I take the same yardstick, it would be coming back again relatively more or less the same kind of numbers. Okay. Now here I will just make a bit tweaking for the case of better understanding of the study. So let me keep you on par with Harsh, presuming that you retire by 60. Or let's do one thing. Okay. Currently we will keep it as 50 only. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So with the same numbers, you are getting the same kind of average, Manish, that is 4.3 crores, somewhere around 4.3 crores and somewhere around 8 crores. Not much change between what your retirement goal should be and what Harsh's retirement goal should be. Okay. There is one more case study that I would like to take is of, Sharvari Pai. If you don't mind, can we take yours as a third case study?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Did I pronounce your name properly, Sharvari?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. By the way, it's a unique name. I've heard your name for the first time. From which place you belong?
I'm from Mumbai.
Okay. Your name actually reminded me of a movie, Life of the Pi.
Okay.
Okay. So, Sharvari, your current age is 37, yeah, right?
Yes, right.
And what is the retirement age that you are looking for?
55.
55. Okay. So you have got another 18 years to retire.
Right.
Okay. So another 18 years means obviously I would take an inflation rate of somewhere around 5%. Let me actually add digits because, yeah. So 5%. So if I take inflation rate of 5%, 14.43 lakhs is going to be your annual expenses. So your total retirement corpus, if you want to utilize the retirement corpus, it's going to be around 4 crores. So I will just add a column here. Yeah. So in your case, we will take it as 3%. So it's coming around 4.81 crores. Okay. So if you want to utilize your entire corpus, it's somewhere around 4 crores. But at the same time, if you continue then somewhere around 5 crores. If you generate, you'll be able to manage with the returns on it.
Okay.
Not much an issue. Okay. Now let me do one thing. Let me take this where I put each one of you on a same parallels. So what I will do is I will make each one of yours retirement age as the same, irrespective of your age. So if I'm making this change, like each one of you are going to retire at 55, which is a normal retirement age in India as on date, that most of the people plan to retire somewhere around 55 years. So Indians plan to retire very late, not very early. In fact, actual people, if you see, most of the people retire from their active working life somewhere around 60 plus, isn't it? We have seen our parents, our grandparents, they work till 60 plus. But average age, okay, I will take it as 55. So if I take it as 55, see how it moves down to 3 of you. Like for Shravari, because it was 55, it is the same. For Harsh and Manish, you see the corpus needed. Okay. We will go with the option of 2. Option 2, where you guys plan to inherit, plan to pass on your own corpus to your loved ones. Isn't it? That's what we Indian normally desire. And you have any other preference? I'm asking each one of you, what would you like? Would you like to pass on your corpus or would you like to exhaust your corpus?
No, pass on.
Pass on.
Pass on, isn't it? Each one of us like to pass on, isn't it? So what I will do is, so for Harsh it is 7 crores. For Manish, it is 9.3 crores. And for Shravari, it is 5 crores. Okay. Now let's see if you guys have to invest from today onwards every month an X amount. Every month you invest an X amount. What would be the kind of EMI that you need to invest? That is what should be your SIP. Got it? So let's look that. So Harsh, what was your savings goal? What was your retirement corpus goal, Harsh?
It was around 7.5 crore.
7.5 crores. Okay. I take initial investment. I'm just presuming that today you are starting with 0. No base. With that presumption, and how many years to?
So it would be 28, I guess. 25. We set it for 55 years, right?
Yeah, it is 25 years.
And 25, yeah.
25 years, 7 crores. It is actually 7 crores. And 25 years. And we expect to invest in a instrument which gets about 12% return for us annually. Now, if I calculate it, Harsh, this is what the result is. Like every year you need to contribute 46,874.
Every month.
Every month. 46,874 every month over next 25 years to reach your goal of 7.5 crores.
Correct.
Now, same thing for Manish. How much it was? 9.3 crores and 33 years. Now, how much money it needs to invest? 22,632. So, I'm using the word EMI because it becomes very easier for to understand that it is a equated monthly installment, but EMI is basically for debt. Okay. In fact, it is EMI means equated monthly investment, not installment. Okay. Okay. Now, Sharvari, yours is 3.97 crores, some 4 crores is, 5 crores and 18 years to go. Can you see how much, what is the amount?
Yeah. 74,000.
74,738. Now tell me, what is one peculiar thing which you are seeing from this calculations?
The earlier you start, it's better.
Yeah.
See, whose corpus was highest?
Manish is.
Mine. Yeah.
Manish. But whose is the lowest investment required every month?
Mine.
Manish only, isn't it?
Yeah.
So person trying who wants to reach the highest peak has got the lowest size of step to climb, isn't it? Does this picture perfectly reflects? So normally people ask me, what is the right age for planning my retirement? And now you tell me what should be the answer?
The earlier the better. First.
The earlier the better. That is from the first month from when you have started earning, you should have your retirement in your mind. Okay. But basically when I ask people to start planning for the retirement at the age of 25 or 30, they say, yeah, Rajesh bhai, itni jaldi kya, Delhi to bahut dur hai. But they fail to understand that the delayed is the retirement planning that they start to do, the steeper the journey is going to be. Okay. So all the participants, all the people who are there in the age group of 20 to 30, I want to know from you, will you start planning for your retirement? Will you make retirement also one of your goal for which you start investing from today? Or do you still think that you should start planning your retirement at the age of somewhere around 40, 45? What do you think?
I'm gonna plan for the retirement. Next month.
Yeah. So once we have determined our retirement goal, okay, one of the major things that we need to determine is, where am I going to invest? Where am I going to invest? Now tell me, what is the best option for you to invest when it comes to your retirement?
Is NPS?
Yes.
Where?
NPS?
NPS,
Equity.
frankly speaking, NPS, except for the tax deduction, that is for the 50,000, I would not recommend NPS for your entire retirement planning.
Okay.
So in the previous session, we looked into, that is the third session, session number 3, we explored what are the various investment options that are available, what are the pros and cons of each and every investment option. And basically when it comes to retirement, the investment option which I recommend, and I repeat, I recommend, okay, you can choose your own thing, but what I always recommend is invest in equities. Equity investment, invest in equities, because if you see, equities are the one which always give you a higher return. So if you want a return of more than 12% or somewhere around 12%, it is equities, equity investment. That is, you can either invest directly into stock markets, or you can invest it through mutual funds. And I repeat, I caution you, you should never invest directly into the stock market unless you have learned how to invest into the stock market. And I'm stressing on the word investing and not trading. Trading into a stock market is a different thing. Investing into a stock market is a different thing. How many of you know the difference between investment and trading in stock market? If you don't know, type I don't know. If you know, type I know. Okay, Manish says I don't know. No, Manish says I don't know. So Manish and Ash, who don't know what investment and trading into stock markets is trading into a stock market is like gamble. Like every day you try to put your money, you bet on one or the other company, betting that in a 1 day or 2 days or in a week it will go up or down. And that's what you do when you trade into a stock market. So it is a short term. It is only like you put your money today, you withdraw it after 3 or 4 days. Okay. And what you do is just that in anticipation that this money will go up or down based on that the price of that company will go up or down in the stock market. You don't know any study of the stock or you don't know anything about the company. But investing into the stock market is purely a long term. That is, you do a fundamental analysis of a company. You try to understand the company, you try to understand the business of a company, you see there are a lot of future prospects of a company, then you invest into this company and hold on to this company for a very long term. Maybe 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, at times it can be 10 to 15 years. Like you invest into a company and just hold on to that stock for 10 to 15 years. And believe me, all the richest people currently on the planet, and I mean it, each and every richest person currently on this planet have become rich by only through long-term investment into equities. No one has become rich or the wealthiest. I'm speaking about the top 100, not even top 10, top 100. No one has become rich or got into top 100 by investing into real estate, by investing into gold, or by investing into fixed deposit or any other thing. All the top 100 people, they have become rich by investing into long-term equities, either their own company or some other company. Like if you say Mukesh Ambani, his wealth comes from the share price of his Reliance Group companies. Bill Gates, his wealth comes from the stock price of Microsoft. So that is the kind of potential that is there in the stock market, but only when you know investing and if you know serious investing. And if you don't know anything about investing or if you don't know anything about the stock market, the best option is rely on professionals, invest in mutual funds. Am I clear? Now what happens? Now you may say, Rajesh, what happens if is there anyone who is not so happy about investing in stock market or scared and want to invest your money only in fixed deposits or some safe deposit? Tell me. Is there any one of you want to? Because many of the Indian, especially ladies, okay, especially ladies are scared of losing their money, saying that if I invest into mutual fund, I may lose money. So why don't I just put my money into fixed deposits, absurd recurring post office deposits? Is there anyone? If there is there anyone, please say yes. Don't be ashamed. It is about your own choice. Check this vary from person to person. Every person has got his own choice of making. Okay. Now, why I'm telling is investing into equities, why it is so important is, say if you are investing into debt instrument, like if you are investing only in fixed deposits, what is the kind of return that you can expect? Only 5%. Okay. Now, see, for 5 crores for Shravari, it was 74,738 if she is investing into mutual funds or anything with an estimated return of 12%. Now, if she is investing the same amount every month in a recurring deposit, which is giving her a return of only 5%. 5%. Now, what the investment that she needs to make will go, it will become double. So that in the instrument, that is the asset class in which you invest and the return which it generate will determine how fast you reach to your goal with less investment amount. And that's the reason investing into equities is what I recommend. And you can have a look at this table. This table indicates that what is the tenure. This also we covered in the previous session, that for which tenure, which asset class you should basically prefer and how much rate of return that you can expect from that particular investment option. Okay, so this is basically a guide that for what purpose, where to invest. That if you are investing for long term, say more than 7 years, you should always invest into your equity funds. Okay. Now, once you have done this, what is more important is investing with discipline. What is more important is investing with discipline. Many people, what they do is they start investing into for a specific goal. Suddenly there is an emergency requirement, and whenever there is a requirement in the family or for their own personal use, they start digging into the mutual funds because they are easily, you can go easily redeem, isn't it? So every time you start, you develop a corpus, but before you reach your goal, you liquidate that corpus for some other purpose. Has any one of you done this? Has any one of you done this? Now here I would admit one thing. Okay. I was speaking about the year 2012. That is 9 years from today. 2012. In 2012, my father wanted to buy a land in our hometown, native place. I basically belong from Rajasthan. I'm a Marwadi, Rajasthan Jalo district. So there, my father wanted to buy a land. So at that point of time, when he wanted to buy a land, I was not very much keen in that investment. But since my father stressed about and he asked me to go for it, what I did is I redeemed all my savings at that point of time, my mutual fund savings, which was somewhere around 9.5 lakhs. I redeemed all my savings, 9.5 lakhs, and gave it to my dad for buying that land. We bought that land somewhere around 24 lakhs. And today, so 24 lakhs, I contributed 9.5 lakhs. Okay. So that means around how much? 40%, isn't it? 40% of the entire investment. Okay. That 24 lakhs, what is the worth of the land today is from 24 lakhs. Somewhere around 50 lakhs is what we can sell that land as on date. 50 lakhs, not more than that. So it has doubled in 9 years. So 40% of 50 lakhs, how much it would be? 20 lakhs. So my share of it, what I have earned today is 20 lakhs. But the same thing had I continued in the mutual funds, today that 9.5 lakh with the kind of returns stock market has generated would be, I just made this calculation and it was missing. Any guesses what my investment would have been today? 9.5 lakhs today, what that investment would have been? It would have been somewhere around 42 to 43 lakhs. 42 to 43 lakhs. Even till date, I repent for it that was one of the most foolish investment decision that I did, which I didn't wanted to. Okay. And that amount, I always had a desire. I wanted to, at that time, the PMS, that is for portfolio management services, the minimum amount that you can invest was 25 lakhs. So I always wanted to generate this 25 lakhs corpus, give it for PMS and keep that for my retirement. That was my goal. I used to plan for my retirement long back. At the time I was working as a company secretary in Hyderabad Industries, HIL. I was working as a company in HIL. But I always desired that I should create a corpus of 25 lakhs, give it for portfolio management and leave it for my retirement. That was what my goal was. Today, had I done that, had I been able to give it for my portfolio management, obviously the amount of net worth would have been way more. But somewhere, what happened is I lost the sight of my goal. I lost the sight of my goal, and I did a big mistake. And I was not, and that lack of discipline or the lack of that sight or consistency has costed me dearly. Yeah. So I caution you all that what you should be doing is two things. Start an SIP. Start an SIP today, specifically for your retirement purpose. And what can be that amount of SIP I recommend is it should be minimum of 5% of your monthly salary. Minimum 5% of your monthly salary, and if you can afford, make it to 10%. Not more than 10%. 5 to 10% is more than enough. 5% of your monthly salary. So if you are earning say 50 lakhs, sorry 50,000, if you are earning 50,000, 5% that is 2,500 per month. Start it as your SIP and this is just to start with. Okay, create it, and then try to increase it to 10% of your earnings. So 10% of your earnings should go every month towards your retirement goal. And in between, whenever you get an incremental bonus or variable pay, whatever you get, at that point of time, ensure that at least 25% of that corpus, that lump sum amount, gets into as a lump sum investment for your retirement. What I said is, can anyone repeat what I said? That what should be the discipline or what should be your approach for your retirement? And this is when you're starting early enough, that is before you're 35 itself, not beyond 35, because if it is beyond 35, then you will have to increase your percentage of investment. The earlier, the better it is, as I told. So what I told was 10% of your monthly income should be an SIP for retirement, and 25% of your variable pay. Many of you must be getting your variable pay, no? Or bonus whenever you get lump sum, as lump sum investment from time to time. Am I clear? If any one of you have not understood what I said, please ask me to repeat. I will repeat it. So once you have done this, what is the next step that you need to do is you need to review your savings and enhance your savings. And as I told you, you can start with, like, today you may not have planned for your retirement. If you have not planned for your retirement, taking out 10% may not be immediately easy. So start with at least 5% and enhance it to 10%. And then, as I told you, every year, whenever you get some increase or anything, add around 25% of it to your retirement corpus. Now, the next thing that becomes very vital is conserve the corpus. Now, though it's too early, I would like to clearly say that once you go nearing your retirement, that today what I'm saying is you should invest in equities, isn't it? What I told you is you should invest in equities. Okay. So when you want to create wealth, the best asset class is equity. But when you want to conserve or preserve your wealth, that is, you want to maintain your wealth, what is the best asset class? Tell me. So for wealth creation, it is equities. But when you want to conserve, what is the best asset class? In mutual funds only.
Real estate.
No, it's not real estate, it is debt. Yes, Chandresh, you are perfectly bingo. It is debt. So it is equity and debt. Real estate can be part of your wealth creation corpus. Your real estate can be part of your wealth creation corpus. Specifically, when do you want to create a wealth for a very long term, that is for 15-20 years. Okay. In the previous session, we discussed in depth about equity and real estate, that which one is better and what's the differentiator. But when you have to conserve your wealth, debt is the best option. And debt, what are the various debt options? Here it is. The various debt options are your chits, that is your, if you invest on recurring, but in this case it is not chit. In this case it is either a fixed deposit or a mutual fund, debt mutual funds. In mutual funds there are both equity funds and debt funds. So debt mutual funds are some corporate bonds. So these are your debt instruments. So these help you in conserve your wealth. So how you should conserve your wealth is, what you should be doing is, say when our retirement, what is your retirement age that we took up with? Somewhere around 55. So when you are around 55, once you come nearing your retirement, that is somewhere around 45 years, 45 to 50, between 45 to 50, what you should be doing is, a part of your corpus, the wealth that you have created, you should start moving it to long-term debt. So you should move the debt from equity funds to a long-term debt fund. You should start moving it. Keep this in mind. It's too early for you. You can always use your financial planner or any advisor at that point of time, but keep this in mind that yes, you should never keep your entire wealth in equities forever. And there is a formula, but I don't believe going hard and fast as per that formula. But what it is said is the proportion of debt and equity in your portfolio should be defined by your age. Okay, I repeat, the proportion of debt and equity should be defined by your age. That is, say for example, if you're 30 years, then 30% of your portfolio should be in debt, and 100 minus your age, that is 100 minus 30, that is 70% should be in equities. So when you are at 50 years of age, tell me what should be the debt and what should be the equity component. When you are at 50%, 50 years of your age, what should be your debt and what should be your equity component? As per this age rule.
Equal.
Yes, it should be 50-50. 50-50. So say for example, by that time, by age of 50 years, you have created a corpus of say about 4 crores. So what you should be doing is, don't return this entire 4 crores into an equity fund. What you should be doing is around 2 crores, that is 50% of it should be moved to long-term debt fund so that your wealth is not lost, so that you conserve your wealth. This is what the formula is. I am not a very strict follower of this formula of this age rule, but what I always feel is this balancing of debt and equity is very important, and this balancing should be done based on your own risk appetite and also your own preference of investment. I always have a slight higher preference towards equity. So what I always go, personally, what I follow is my age minus 10%. That is at 50, say for example, when I'm 50, my component of debt would be somewhere around 40% and 60% would be equity. But still a 40% of my component would go into debt. This is what, like today I'm 40. If I review my portfolio, somewhere around 27-28% of my entire portfolio is comprised of debt. Now, debt in the sense how they are comprised of it is like some guaranteed return insurance plan, because guaranteed return insurance plans are also equal to debt only. So this is what you guys need to. So this is what is there when it comes to your retirement. So I just repeat, what you need to do is first define your retirement goal. See that how much monthly you have to invest for your retirement goal, and start planning your investment. And how you should start planning for your investment is start with at least 10% of your salary specifically for your retirement goal. And this amount which you are creating for your retirement should not be liquidated at any cost. This should be for your retirement only. Tomorrow when your kids grow old for their education or anything, you should not put your hands into it. You should have different buckets. Like this investment, like if you are saying like how you can do it is, if you are doing an SIP of say 20,000, you have a salary of 1 lakh. From that 1 lakh, 20,000 every month you are doing an SIP. So what you can do is about 5 to 10,000 you can keep it for your retirement, and next 10,000 you can keep it for your different goals like your kids' education, your home. That is how you can actually separate. And how you can identify it is, say for example 20,000 SIP. 20,000 SIP you will not be investing in each and every funds. So what you need to do is, if you are investing in say 5 equity funds, you should clearly demarcate consciously. You should write it down that these 2 specific funds, like say for example, if you are investing in Mira Asset Emerging Blue Chip Fund and Canara Robeco Emerging Blue Chip Fund, Axis Focused Equity Fund, like this, some 4-5 funds. What you can do is, you can determine saying that Mira Asset Emerging Blue Chip Fund and Canara Robeco Emerging, these 2 investment is for my retirement. So once you consciously try to demarcate it, it will always be in your mind that this is for my retirement. I'm not supposed to touch this. So whenever you need money, you will touch your other funds, liquidate it, but you will not touch these specific funds. Got it? So any doubts? There was one question about lump sum investment. Manjesh Manjesh put up. Manjesh, can you? I'm not able to get your question right. Can you repeat it? Like what exactly you are asking me?
Basically, you mentioned about SIP and lump sum, correct?
Yeah.
Basically, we know that what we need to do, but when we have a lump sum amount, for example, we have a 2 lakh.
Okay, I got it. So what you should do is when you are doing SIP and lump sum, say for example you are doing an SIP of 20,000 per month. You are distributed in 4 to 5 funds. You get a lump sum amount. This lump sum amount you are investing for long term only. What you should do is you should invest in the same funds where your SIPs are going, in that proportion of your SIP. So you have got a lakh. Add that. So it's like a top up to your SIP investment. So your lump sum investment will act as a top up to your SIP investment so that your goal can be achieved faster. Like how many of you play video games? How many of you have played video games in your childhood? I guess each one of you. Yeah. When we play video games, what happens, especially in racing, you get some fuel at the start of the race, isn't it? But in between, there are some bonus things, like there are some fuel tank or something of that sort comes in between. What you do, once you catch that, your fuel gets increased, isn't it? So that is how your top up also, your lump sum investment also should work. That is, your SIP should go on and your lump sum, whatever you want to make, should be put into the same funds as a top up. Parshuram, how much amount should we have after retirement? Let's say after 15 years to retire from now. That is what exactly we defined at the start of the session, Parshuram. Did you miss that portion?
Yeah, seems Rajesh, I missed it.
Okay. At the start of the session, we looked into it, that how much amount. In fact, we did a working on three of the participants, Harsh, Manish and Sharvi, that how this retirement corpus should be defined. What you can do is this recording of the session would be shared in the WhatsApp group immediately after the session. It would be available on Iv-Myswish YouTube channel. There's a YouTube channel called Iv-Myswish. So
Sure,
Iv-Myswish YouTube channel. So you can see the recording. And you can also see the recording of our previous 3 sessions, also part of this series. I request you all to please join our Happy Money Club. It's a WhatsApp group where I'm the moderator there. So any personal finance question you can ask me. I would be there to clarify your any personal financial questions. I request you all to please visit our Facebook page and give your feedback of today's session. Yeah, Suresh.
Thanks a lot, Rajesh. Very insightful sessions, a series of sessions. Okay, and thanks everyone for the participation.
Thank you all.